Good morning. This is Kathy for Getting Chatty with Kathy, and I want to thank you for joining us today. It's October and it's getting crisp. I am hoping for a very long fall. I love the colors. I love the freshness in the air, and please allow us no snow for a while. I'd love to hear my guest's opinion about snow. I have the wonderful Credell Simeon, and she is from
Grenada.
And so I don't think they have snow there, do they?
No snow.
No snow. So how many winters have you done here in Saskatchewan?
I've done 10 winters.
So you're tough.
I am tough.
And your thoughts on winter compared to the hottest day in the summer?
I like winter because it gets me lazy. If I don't have to get out of bed and go to work, I love winter.
No guilt.
No guilt. I must say I've mastered the art of shoveling. I'm a very good shoveler and I enjoy doing it. I get my physical activity in, and I like watching movies and drinking hot chocolate during the winter.
It's true. I find winter is like there's zero guilt for not going out. I love crafting, love crafting, and I think you might be in the same boat.
Yes.
And I find in the summertime I can't sit still enough to do it, but in the winter I have no problem spending hours making things and creating things in my hands.
Yes. So during the winter I like painting and I like writing. I get sorts of writing done during the winter, and painting as well. So what I normally do is during the summer I'm out and about a lot, so I do a lot of thrifting, I do a lot of buying, get all of my craft supplies, so then when winter hits and you can't really go out as much due to the weather, you have all of your things that you can
You're
use.
like thinking ahead
you're
of time.
thinking ahead of time, right?
And your art is very sustainable.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us about your art? Because it's very interesting.
Yes, so the art practice that I do, I paint on glass. I'm a glass painter. Some people say it's glass artist. It's also eco art. All of the painting that I do is on recyclable glass. So you're thinking about bottles, you're thinking about canning jars. I also do acrylic glass as well, so it's really in the sustainable art practice. And I also use acrylic paints. You can use glass paints, but I specifically like to use acrylic paints because of the bold colors that I get. I love bold colors on glass because I'm from an island, and island vibes is all about bold.
I just don't think it's bold in your art. I think
Yes.
there's some bold going on everywhere.
Bold is in my style, so I like how the acrylic paints actually look on glass. I do bottles, and then during the winter, because it's so dark early, I put lights in the bottles. So you actually get bottle lights. I have those that are solar, so then you don't need the batteries, but I also have battery operated ones, and they look so beautiful in the winter. So as soon as the sun sets, the light comes on and it stays on all night.
And it really does create a mood with those colors. I can see it already. So I saw on your social, were you doing workshops?
Yes, so I was doing workshops in Grenada actually. So I spent 6 months in Grenada. I did a couple art exhibitions, and then I was also doing workshops, actually showing people how to paint on glass. Women and children. The kids and I have fun painting on glass.
I bet. That's a really neat way to express your art, and then in a medium that, we can easily find, so it's really accessible too.
Yes, it's accessible, it's thrifty. A lot of children don't have easy access to art supplies. So by using the bottles, you reduce that cost significantly because the bottles is a part of the reuse, recycle, upcycle practice, and we paint on them. They really get to be creative. It really stretches their imagination about what is possible. So we have a lot of creative fun with the kids. I was surprised that they were just so oh my gosh, they were so interested in the painting on the glass. I couldn't believe, so I was really happy with that experience. Mostly teenagers, like ages 11 to 16.
Are open to doing any here in the city?
Yes, so I have started working with non-profit organizations, doing youth activities around the painting and crafting.
Wonderful, wonderful. So do you have an email that you could share? So anyone listening who wants to do that could email you?
Yes, so the email is contact us at csCreatives.studio.
I think we're going to have to put a link in my website. We'll get that for you guys,
Yes.
I promise.
Yes.
So tell me, I heard earlier you were saying in the winter you also like to do poetry. So are you a little poet?
Yes, I am. So I write poetry. So funny story about the poetry. So my background is actually in technology. So I write a lot of code. And I always tell people that poetry is almost there's a lot of similarities to writing code because it's short. I write a lot of lyric poetry. So it's short, it's succinct, it's concise, but it's punching, right? So it gives you a short, sharp punch, but it's very, straight to the point, right? So that's why when people ask me if I write poetry, I said yes. It's not a fast stretch because I was writing code before. So poetry is just in a different space, but there's just so much similarities to it, and I love poetry. The first Canadian poet that I read, it's a young lady from out of Toronto, and I just fell in love with her lyric style of poetry, and since then I've been doing poetry as part of my practice.
So how do you find time to I know it's winter and you're chilled out. Is it on a Sunday morning you find inspiration? Where do you find it?
I find inspiration different times, different places. I'm kind of like a bottle in a sense. I store up a lot of my summer observations in my mind and in my imagination. So in the winter, it's just like a space to pour it out slowly.
I like that.
So it's like over coffee during the winter, you can no longer see the beauty of summer. Then I use my imagination, and that fills in the space for me and the void, and then I use that to just write beautiful poetry.
Nice. So you, I imagine, have some of that on your website too for us to see?
Yes. So I do poetry. I do lots of what I call wedding poetry. I try to write, and I think I'm very good at writing wedding poetry. So poetry that couples can love stories, that couples can share with each other.
So you do customized?
Yes, customized wedding poetry.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes. That love story. I'm a love bug, I like the idea of love and all of that. So I do wedding poetry as well, and then I do poetry around nature and the environment as part of my sustainable practice.
What a lovely gift to somebody, like your partner, maybe you have a cute
anniversary
story.
Poetry, yes. Engagement.
Some of us, like myself, are not very poetic. I have a hard time, spelling, let alone making it into something. That's a great idea. I love that you're doing that.
Yes.
And you could do that for anybody, anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world. It's like a virtual service. Eventually, I'm hoping to get into songs as well.
Very cool. Well, poetry really is song.
Yes. It is.
I like that a lot. You have so much creative juices in you.
I know.
Tell me, did your parents give you that? Where did it come from?
I think I always had it. It has been suppressed, I think, for many years because of a number of reasons, As part of my career, I always kind of wanted to do the traditional route. The traditional route was just go to school, get a good education. That's why I did technology. It's a very valuable, well-paying education. So I did that, had my career. But after a while, I wasn't as fulfilled as I thought I would be. I just wasn't feeling it. I was, really wanted more to do even more with my creativity. So being in Canada, I found that I had access to be able to explore that further, and I've really invested the last 2 years in fully exploring my creativity. So I've done art, I've done writing, I've even done writing retreats, I've really explored my creativity, and that is something I always encourage people to do, to really use the opportunity to fully explore creativity.
It's such a gift to be able to do that. I find I had a career too before, not that I don't have a career now, I shouldn't say that, but the traditional kind of role, and I found myself questioning if that was bringing me joy as well. And the paychecks though were wonderful. This life, I don't know, it's give and take, you know what I mean?
It is.
There's something to it, but I'm really, really happy that you're, channeling your energy into, finding your voice in your creativity.
Yes.
So what else do you do in Regina? I have seen you at a few events here and there over the years.
Yes. So in Regina, I'm an island girl living on the prairies. That's what I call myself. But in that sense, I really use the opportunity to go to as much events and get out there as possible. I love to network. So I always look for events. I'm like your event finder. I find events. I'm very good at, I have a whole process packed down in terms of finding events and actually going. So I look on the Facebook, I search on Google, and then the next thing is actually to put it in your calendar. Okay. A lot of people miss that step. They would see things on Instagram, they would see things on LinkedIn, and then they don't do the next step, which is actually put it in your calendar. Right? So putting in your calendar just means that it is something, a prospect. Then you add
that there's tiers, right? I'm hearing. So like you read it, and if it gets even mentioned in your calendar, we're getting warm on
We're getting warm on it. And then you have to add all your notifications a week before the event, a day before the event, in case you still need to buy a ticket. Outfits, all of that, accessories, and style yourself for your event. So I usually tell people that, get out there, but yes, use that kind of tried and tested process. See it, flag it. Like when I used to work, we used to say flag things. Well, flag things for me is to put it in the calendar. Rest it in the calendar and then add your notifications. I like to dress up, so I'm always on the hunt for something nice to wear. And again, because I'm a summer out there, summer is a great time to shop, even for winter stuff. Because winter,
best time for winter stuff. It's on sale.
It's on sale, and sometimes the colors you never see during winter. Winter is a cold, dark, mundane time. So get all your, if you see a purple sweater or orange sweater in summer, buy it. You will need it in winter.
I like that. So where are your hot spots for finding these gems of clothing?
So I do, you do the malls, Dots. It's a little gem people don't know about, but I tell you, you gotta go to Dots.
And that's on Scarth Street.
Scarth Street, yes. So
right downtown, across from the Cornwall.
I just love their stuff.
You'll go through stuff then.
Oh, yes.
Are you a Winners girl?
Winners, Marshalls, for sure. I also do Rhoda Elegance for thrifting, because I'm a thrift shopper too as well.
What about Value Village? I find when I go there, I get angry.
Oh, okay. I do Value Village for my glass upcycling.
Okay, but do you think that their prices are sometimes a little cuckoo?
Could be, yes, depending on what you see. So if you don't,
I'm like, these are things are gifted to these people, and the price. I prefer going to Rhoda's or something like that, because I feel like at least it's been
yes. And there's also the one on Victoria Avenue, Loom and Magpie.
Oh yes. And they have some
really
nice
good stuff.
Purses.
Yes, it's kind of like high-end thrifting, I call it.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
Yes, but it's like discounted. But I found like a really nice white jacket there, and I was like, oh, okay.
Did you get yourself it?
I
Good
did.
Girl.
I did. So I do thrifting. The other things that I do, because I like unique things, and uniqueness is part of my aesthetic. I go a lot to local craft markets. I love handmade. I just love, especially earrings or anything that, soaps, candles. So I just really support local artisans and really shop handmade.
Do you think that's from your roots in Grenada, or do you think it's from, just your, I don't know, like, or do you think that's a Regina thing? Because I think it's difficult to do a lot of handmade shopping in Regina sometimes. So, you have to go out of your way. So that's great that you're doing it. It's not like going on to Amazon and just buying it, right?
Yes, it's definitely different. The Amazon, of course, is quicker. I think it's a combination of both things. In Grenada, we make a lot of handmade crafts, so I've actually seen the process of handmade.
Love that there.
Yes,
and they have like a market where
there's
can go
markets.
and
You could get lots of well-made, handmade stuff to buy. They're more for the tourist market. But again, really, really good handmade stuff. And as an artist, I think I value a lot of quality. I like the effort and thought that people put into the stuff that they make. It's not necessarily just like machine and just multiplying, making like a million of these. It's actually one of a kind. It's unique. So I really value that a lot. So yes, I do go out of my way to actually go to these events and just walk around. Something may catch my eye that will match an outfit that I have that just like speaks to me. So yeah.
And then it feels special.
It feels like extra special. You don't throw it away easily. You may re-gift it at some point, but it doesn't, when you buy the earring that has been multiplied many times, you just throw it away.
It doesn't have the same value.
Yes, but once you buy something that you know has been handmade, then yes.
It's funny. I'm a thrifter myself, but I find when I see art and like handmade stuff, that thrifting side of me goes right out the window, and I'm like, oh, this lamp that you made by hand, $500. Well, okay. I don't care.
That's absolutely true. Once you see it, and like all of a sudden it becomes like a whole conversation, and you kind of start to picture it, like how you're going to wear it or where you're going to place it in your house, and then it becomes something that is very special. I watch a lot of where you have house buying shows, international house buying shows.
Oh yes.
I watch a lot of that.
International.
And I'm always fascinated by what people bring when they buy a house internationally. So that's why I always go back to the handmade stuff, because sometimes people choose to keep things that they value a lot, and if you have to move to another country, most of the times these are the kind of items you're actually taking with you. So yes.
And you said that. I spent a year in Korea when I was like a little one. Like I finished teaching. I finished my degree, and I was like, I gotta get out of Regina for a little while and see what else is out there. And I had to, I was lucky. I didn't own a house or anything like that. It was just a car. I had a car and a little bit of bedroom furniture because I was like 24. And I sold it all. And the only things that I wanted to keep, my friend made a blanket with everybody's pictures on it. And I still have it, like 20 years later. And it's so special. Came back and forth. I couldn't say many other things, but it was the pictures. It was like that sentimental.
Yeah, that sentimental, yes, value in it, yes.
Yet, all of us, I think, fill our houses up with a lot of stuff that we that should be like the decision making. It's like, if you moved to another country, would you take this with you? And if you would, then you can buy it.
Yeah, you could buy it. If you want to leave it.
Don't waste your money.
I'm probably going to make the suitcase.
No. So tell me about these beautiful earrings that you have on. They're stunning. So they're turquoise, for those of you that can't see at the top. And then, is it polymer clay that's baked?
It's baked, so it's resin,
yes.
I think.
It's gorgeous.
Yes. So these ones I actually bought at a local handmade craft market. I love them.
It's totally your inspiration for your outfit. Your pants,
it is.
Your bracelets match.
Yes, I do a lot of matchy, as they say.
What's your house like? Is it matchy?
No, because it's not my house. I live with my sister.
So you have to do what she wants?
Yes.
So are you the younger or the older?
That's a technically difficult question. I'm a twin, actually.
I didn't know
Yes.
this about you.
So I'm well, identical twin, actually. So technically, I am the youngest.
How many minutes?
I don't know.
Not a lot.
I'm not a lot. So, yes, but it's a question I get asked all the time. So, yes, my twin sister is actually older and I'm younger. And then I have an older sister as well.
All in here in the city?
Well, at one point, yes. But now I only have one sister in the city and one back in Grenada. So, we cannot split.
But that's okay, because if you get to go home, you get both.
Yes, I do.
So is your sister, like a twin sister, then you're saying you live with here in the city?
I live with my older sister in
Oh, your twins back home?
the city. Yes, she moved back last year.
Oh, I'm sorry. Those winters can, like, kill some people, I think.
Yes.
They're tough. You know, some people love it. Some people don't. I think that, like, if you have enough things to do and to keep yourself entertained, if you have an imagination and it's not revolving being outside, you're okay. But for people that their, like, joy comes from being outside, it can get a little rough.
Yes, it definitely can get a rough, and then mental health is a big thing.
Huge thing
in terms of and sometimes the winter is the darkness, I think, too, bothers people a lot. So that's why I like creating my lights and my bottle lights. And
you have
all
color
that.
everywhere. It's
Color
so dull.
everywhere. Indoor plants. I always tell people, you could actually do indoor plants. I know plants could be a lot of maintenance. I don't think it's a lot of maintenance. I've met people that said, oh my gosh, I didn't think I could do a plant.
Water it like once a week.
Yes, just water it once a week. Don't overwater it. But sometimes I think having indoor plants really helps because you get a little green in your space and that just wonders to your whole mood.
Yes. One thing that I do, so after Christmas, it's too soon to start plants. I like to start garden plants, and I'll do perennials for flowers, and I also do like tomato plants and peppers.
Good for you.
Oh, it's a thing. And so what I love to do is, usually around February or March, you can't do it too early, really, else they go all spittly and gross. But I'll put them on my heat mats and I plant them. It's still dark outside, and I have my little lights, and it's on a timer, and so the sunlight dings on at 6 a.m. and it turns off at 6 p.m. But then every day I kind of wander into my little wall of plants that are babies that are growing. And I tell you, that brings me so much joy. And then I get to plant them outside in the summer. And I'm always like, oh, look at my plants, look at this, look at that. I've turned into that person, and I find that makes me look forward to tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, even I've had friends with balconies that have turned their balcony into an oasis. Where,
yes.
it doesn't have to be just a home. And having lived in a big city before, you can indoors.
You can do a lot indoors with the space that you have and make your own little oasis. I totally agree. But good for you. You have had luck doing what I call germination. I'm terrible at that.
Well, you got to come over and see how I do it. Because I learned it from my dad. When I was a kid, he did it for years and years. So it's never intimidated me because it was just something you did.
Okay. I'm good from the seedling stage up. I do a wonderful, beautiful garden every year, but it's from seedlings up.
So do you go to the store and
I
buy
go to the store and buy them.
So darn expensive.
I know, expensive. I remember when you got for a whole something for $3. Now you get 2 little plants or one.
I know. I think that's what prompted me to do perennials because vegetables I've always kind of been fine with, and I never thought that I was a flower kind of person.
But you never know until you try it,
And then you get into it,
and then you're hooked for life, I swear.
They're so pretty, all the different variations, and when they're growing out of the ground, I'm like, what's gonna happen next?
Yes, so the perennials that I love, we have dogwoods, but I love lilies. So I have some wonderful sun yellow lilies that I love, and I post on Facebook every year. People just love my pictures. So I have pink, I have red, but the yellow, there's something about that yellow that is just
I'm gonna have to
gorgeous.
steal a cutting of it. I have orange ones that I can trade to you Nikki, from my mom's house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
We took them, every time I move, I bring like a piece of the lilies with me. Because do you?
Yes.
Well, you will.
Yes, I will.
I don't think you're supposed to take plants from other countries and bring them here, so we won't talk if that ever happened. I don't know what you're talking about. Actually, full disclosure, once I might have gone on a trip and bought a pack of seeds and brought them back here.
Kathy, you're talking about a girl from the Caribbean. Of course, there are things you're bringing you.
I want to see your tropical ones. All right, we only got a few minutes left. We talk a lot, girl. We're on things. So I really wanted to make sure that we discussed, you're going to be joining a panel here right away.
Yes, I am. So on October 9th in Regina at the local market, starting at 5 p.m., I'll be part of a panel discussion. So the Women in Leadership Saskatchewan, on the board of directors there. So we're having that event. So it's panel discussions, networking. It's an event for all genders. Really people interested in leadership, but really understanding the issues that women face at work or in business settings.
I would love if men actually were at that so they could hear
So
what
they
the
could,
problems
yes,
are.
yes.
And then they could be proactive about it.
Right.
Come on, guys.
Yes. So that's the event that we're having. We're really excited. We have 2 panels. So we have 4 of our board of directors, amazing women, and then we have 3 guest speakers, again, amazing women with lots of leadership experience, and people from different industries. So it's really a good event. We should come out. I always say, post-pandemic, get out there, get to your events.
So it's on October the 9th at 5 p.m. at the local market. So is that right on close to Hamilton and off of Hamilton and...
Yes, 1377 Hamilton Street in the Warehouse District. Local shopping days are up. You must check it out.
Well, be careful if you're there for your panel. You might end up spending too much. But that's a good problem. I like
That's a good problem to have, yes.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I love hearing about all the interesting things you're doing. Next time we got to dig deeper into gardening. I didn't know this about you.
Yes.
And I want to find out more about your twin, because that's super cool too.
Yes. And then hopefully by then, my book, poetry book.
Oh my goodness. Yes, let's do it, okay? All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today and hearing about the wonderful things that are going on in our Queen City. Anyways, take care out there. Bye now.
Good.
Oh, let me turn off my recorder. That went really good. I didn't know you gardened.
Yes, I'm a big gardener.